Hi everyone, my name is Caiti. I use she, her pronouns, and welcome to your daily sadhana. Today's quicker practice will be all revolving around the hips. If you sit at a desk or sit and drive for part of your work or majority of your day, this will hopefully be a nice little either unwind after work is done or your day is finished, or maybe something that you might start your day with just to loosen things up a bit before the rest of the day can feel a little bit more stagnant. So give yourself some space, some room to move around. My wish for you is to use either blocks or just something that elevates you away from the floor. So that might look like books, or it might look like pillows in the house or something of that nature, but just something that you have so you can rest your hands on it. We'll use that very much so in the beginning of the class and then a little bit towards the end. The intention, if you will, is moving with fluidity. So the first few times we feel anything or do anything different, there is an ever so slight resistance to the idea or to the posture or to the conversation. And so my hopefulness is that tapping into the hips, a space of creativity, that we're able to meet postures, conversations, ideas with a little less resistance and a little bit more fluidity, or at least the idea of loosening up enough to go with the flow, if you will. So come along the journey with me for the next 30-ish maybe minutes, and we'll do this together. If you don't mind, find me in a comfortable seat, please. I'll use a block to take underneath my sits bones because that's going to naturally open the hips a little earlier. And so with your sits bones elevated, your knees will naturally slant downward towards the floor and the hips will start to open up. Be mindful of the way that you might normally sit and which leg goes in front or on top. And then we're just going to mindfully change that. It's always a good reminder for myself as well to just simply do things a little bit in the reversal of how I normally do them. And since we're sitting in this practice of non-resistance or of fluidity, I will also practice that with you, even the most minute of ways. So once you've found the comfortable seat that might feel a little less than usually comfortable, allow the crown of your head to reach towards the sky or the ceiling or wherever it is that you are, and ground your palms down onto your thighs. If you need a little grounding, the energy feels like it's swirling still, turn your palms to face down. And then if the energy feels like it needs to be lifted, it is a little stagnant or it has been a little heavy, turn your palms to face up. These are small yet very important signals that your body can send your brain to let it know what we're either open for, ready for, or not necessarily needing at the time. And soften through your breath and start to soften through your muscles. Let your sits bones really melt into the earth and let the backs of your thighs start to slope closer towards the floor. And let your shoulders soften away from the ears. And the muscles that surround your belly don't necessarily need to be fired up just right now. Give yourself a chance to be soft and to be here. And to notice that the tensing or the contracting is a touch of that resistance. We'll start to play a little bit with the edge of engagement and resistance, especially when it comes to the muscular features of our practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then an open mouth exhale. And gently, you're welcome to blink your eyes open, and then go ahead and meet me in a tabletop position. This is going to be the space where I would love for you to take a block, or a block underneath each hand rather. So 2 blocks, 2 books, or 2 pillows, so that you have a little lift away from the ground. Stabilize into your tabletop. Leave your left leg exactly where it is. Kick your right heel to the back of the space, toes lifted away from the floor. Flex through your right glute so that you can lift just a hair higher. And then as you exhale, I want you to take it to the outside of your left foot and then look towards the left. So now we're stretching through the right side body, getting a little bit of the outer hips and maybe a little bit of that lower back space, and those two can typically go in tandem together. Breath in, and then a breath out. And on your next inhale, pull your right heel directly back out from your hip and keep the toes lifted. And then on the exhale, step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. This is why we have blocks. It's a little easier to do so. So we're gonna be in this almost very narrow lizard stance here. We'll take cat-cows from this particular space, and again, I want us to acknowledge the engagement rather than the amount of movement we're making. So with the palms planted down, on your inhale, soften for cow pose. Collarbones still pull forward, tailbone still pulls up, hips still pull back. The movement looks very minimal though, so it's about what you feel. Exhale, cat pose, dome and curl through your spine, and then almost feel like you're tractioning your right heel to your left knee. So we're squeezing inward. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in, pull the heart forward. As you breathe out, push down, round, and curl. Last one. Hinge forward, pull the collarbones up, tip the tailbone back. And exhale, tip the tailbone down, pull your collarbones towards your hip points. Now on your inhale, I want you to tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, look forward. As you exhale, step to a wide stance at the top of your mat. On your inhale, we'll find an active squat. So sit your hips back, reach your fingertips forward, almost like a chair pose, but it's extremely wide, so that we can sit into the hips and start to strengthen at the same time that we open. Take a strong breath in here. And as you exhale, stand tall and pull your hands into your heart center. Push your hips forward, reach your hands up and back behind you for a small back bend. And then exhale, gradually forward, fold, release it down. We'll take a very wide halfway lift, so hands to the shins or to the thighs, the crown pulls forward, the back lengthens out. And as you exhale, step back to your high plank position. Your hands can still be on blocks, mine always will be. Drop down to the knees, please. And then find one cow pose exactly as you are. Knees down, collarbones up, tailbone up. And exhale for cat. On your inhale, there's a neutral tabletop. So belly comes neutral to the floor, parallel, and then kick your left heel about behind you. Flex through the left glute to lift the heel higher, and then step it to the outside of your right foot. Look towards the right, stretch the left side of your frame. And again, hopefully we start to feel a little bit of the outer hip begin to stretch here, running a tiny bit down the side of the thigh, which will end up being the IT band. Now on your inhale, come back through center, left heel lifts in line with the hip, and then exhale, step the left foot to the outside of your left palm. Same on this side. We have no expectations though, because each side is different. Inhale for cow pose, the hips pull back, the heart pulls forward. And exhale, we'll round and curl, dome through the spine, energetically pull your left heel back. Inhale, pull the heart forward, soften the muscles in your belly. Exhale, strengthen those muscles, round and curl. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, soften down. Then exhale, strengthen and push. On your inhale, tuck the back toes, lift your back knee, look forward. Exhale, step to a wide stance, top of the mat. Inhale for a wide squat, shift the hips back, reach the arms forward. Exhale, stand, pull the hands to your heart center. A back bend on your inhale, reach your hands up and back behind you, push your hips forward. And exhale, dive down, release. On your inhale, find a halfway lift. And then as you exhale, this time just palm the mat, step your feet back, find downward facing dog. Reach your right leg high to the sky, please. 3-legged downward facing dog. As you reach your right leg high, again, we engage the right glute, just like we did in the tabletop position. Breathe in. Exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. We're now in a high lizard lunge. So this stance is a little bit longer, and then gently set your back knee down to the ground. Now the back knee should be a little further away from the right heel so that we start to come onto the soft parts at the top of our knee, bottom of our thigh, because straight onto the kneecap is a pretty uncomfortable place to be. So give yourself some space, lengthen the back leg out a little longer. With your left hand either on the block or on the floor, I'll start to move mine away. Left hand grounds, right fingertips, I want you to reach them forward. And then as you exhale, tap your right elbow towards your right ankle. On your inhale, reach forward. And then exhale, cactus the elbow wide open like you're trying to tap your right elbow to your left glute. Inhale, reach forward. And then exhale, give it a tap one more time. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, cactus out, open up. On your inhale, this time reach forward. As you exhale, it's a kneeling side angle, so kickstand your left toes behind you. Pull the left arm up towards the ceiling and ground your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Now from our wide lizard stance, I have moved my right foot in just a little bit so that it's actually underneath my hip. You are always welcome to stay where you were or scoot your feet in. Remember, you can take your time. Top arm is welcome to reach overhead to keep the side body and the outer hip stretch going. Breath in. And stay for the breath out. On your inhale, crawl your hands towards the back of your mat for a kneeling side plank. So your left hand will ground, right hand will lift up overhead, and now the right leg has lengthened like you are truthfully in a side plank position. Push the outer blade of your right foot into the mat. Breathe in. Then breathe out. Let's do that a couple times, just backwards and forwards. Breathe in. Exhale, kneeling side angle, crawl back to the front, right hand comes down, left arm goes up. Inhale for your kneeling side plank, left hand to the back of your mat, right hand comes up. One more. Exhale to the front of your space, reach the left arm overhead, kneeling side angle. On your inhale, last one, kneeling side plank, lift up. This time, as you exhale, I want you to crawl forward, kneeling side angle, reach the left arm overhead. And on the inhale, kickstand back, or rather unkickstand your back leg, kneeling twist. So just where we were before. Now this time you are welcome to stay exactly as you are and or a block under your left hand, and you can find a quad stretch. Right hand would swing around to grab the outside of your left foot. And when we think about a quad stretch, we do talk mostly about the muscles on the front of your thigh getting a stretch. This is also a major hip extension, so your left hip flexor will also get quite a stretch as well. Lean into the twist so the spine can fall open and fall a little more deeply into the twist. Take a breath in. Then take a breath out. One more inhale here. As you exhale, gently release down to your runner's lunge. Inhale, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And exhale for downward facing dog. Plant your palms and step your right foot back to meet your left. Stay exactly as you are. I'm going to flip to the opposite side of my mat so that I can always stay open to face you. Reach your left leg high to the sky, please. Three-legged downward facing dog. As you exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the left palm for a lizard lunge. Soften your right knee down to the ground and thinking about really coming onto the very tip top of the knee and the bottom of the quadricep for more comfort. And then you're welcome to set your blocks out of the way just for a moment. Keep your right hand down to the ground. Inhale, reach the left fingertips forward. Exhale, tap your left elbow to your left ankle. Inhale, reach out. And then exhale, cactus, find your twist. Left elbow, tractions towards your right glute. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, give it a tap. Inhale, reach forward. And then exhale, twist. Last time as you reach forward, and then exhale, kneeling side angle, left hand to the inside of your left foot. Kickstand your right foot so that your hips begin to open, and then maybe your right arm reaches towards the front of the room or towards your ceiling. Now, something I did not yet offer from the first side is that you are very welcome to pull your left forearm to your left thigh and raise yourself up away from the floor. There's various levels to each and every posture. None of them have a hierarchy. They're just different options. So play around with which option your side needs, rather than expecting each side to need exactly the same shape. Take a breath in, and take a breath out. On your inhale, kneeling side plank to the back of your space. So we'll crawl hand over hand until the right hand lands down. And then left leg lengthens, left arm reaches out overhead. Expand yourself from fingertip to toe tip and take a breath in. And on the exhale, we'll come back, kneeling side angle, and go back and forth. Inhale for a kneeling side plank, reach your right hand down and your left hand overhead. Then exhale, kneeling side angle, left hand down, right palm comes overhead. Let's do that one more time. On your inhale, back of your mat, kneeling side plank, reach up and over. Then exhale, kneeling side angle, left hand down, right arm up and over. Now reframe to the back of your space. On your inhale, kneeling twist. Reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. And then again, stay right here or prop yourself up a little higher and find a quad stretch or a hip extension. For me to be able to reach my back foot, I do have to put my bottom hand, my right hand, onto a block. So if you're in that same camp, welcome. We just need a little bit more height to access what we're desiring. A little prop up, if you will. Lean back, open the heart space, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, release the back foot, slow, steady, plant the palms. On blocks or not, lift the back knee on your inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot back to meet your right. Start to move around in your downward facing dog just for a moment. We'll build on just a tiny touch. So keep the ears open, and we'll just go through this one more time, adding on a touch of our outer hips. On your inhale, three-legged downward facing dog, reach the right leg high. This time as you exhale, cheetah, draw your right knee towards your nose. Think about your thigh coming towards your chest. High up on the ball of your left foot. Inhale, figure four, downward facing dog. So cross the right ankle on top of your left thigh and then push your hips up and back. A great outer hip stretch for the right, and then also a great hamstring and calf stretch for the left. Steady on your breath in here. And then as you exhale, step the right foot in between your palms, drop the left knee down. Breathe in, reach the right hand up, find a twist. Exhale, kneeling side angle, right hand comes down, kickstand the left foot behind you, left arm up. Inhale, kneeling side plank, left hand to the back of your mat, straighten your right leg, right hand reaches up. And exhale, we go right back, kneeling side angle, right hand down, left hand up. Back to the front of your space with a kneeling twist. Left hand comes down, reframe to the front, reach the right hand high, stay, and maybe add your quad stretch. We're here for 3. Keep breathing for 2. And on 1, slowly release, downward facing dog. Step the right foot back to meet your left. Inhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Reach your left heel high. Exhale, cheetah, knee to nose, thigh to chest. Inhale, down dog figure 4. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh, and then push your hips up and back to breathe. Soften into your breath here, and drive the left knee closer towards the back of your space. Stay for your breath in. Then as you exhale, step the left foot in between your palms for a runner's lunge. Drop your right knee. Inhale, twist to the left. Reach your left palm high to the sky. And then exhale, kneeling side angle. Left hand to the inside of your left foot. Kickstand your right foot. Right arm reaches up. Inhale, kneeling side plank. Right hand comes down. Lengthen the left leg. Lengthen the left arm overhead. Exhale, kneeling side angle, we come right back to it. Reframe to the ground, inhale back to your kneeling twist, right hand down, left hand up, maybe for the quad stretch for 3. You'll stay where you want to be for 2. And on 1, slowly release, plant the palm, step the left foot back to meet your right, downward facing dog. Steady breath in here. Steady breath out. Fluidity comes in many ways. Not necessarily is it always going to be a physical sense. Could be in your breath, could be in your mind. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take a look to the top of your space, please. Take very, very tiny steps towards ragdoll. Separate your feet really wide to the outer edges of your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Let your head hang very heavy. You can take a bind in your arms, opposite hand to opposite elbow. You can take no bind at all and just relax your hands down towards the ground. I'll naturally sway, so I'll move side to side and bend my legs one at a time. And you'll do exactly what you want to do so that you feel good. Embrace what comes up intuitively. It's what you need. And breathe in. And breathe out. And very gently, I want you to find a halfway lift. And we're going to move towards a muladhara, but a supported variation. So turn your heels in and your toes out and bring them in just a touch. And then slowly sink your hips down, maybe to a block or to a pillow or to a stack of books. And so I want to find something that's supportive to open the hips and really traction the outer hips wide open, of course. But I also want a little bit of support because we're going to twist open side to side to feel a little more. So give yourself some space so that you feel supported before you move forward. Plant your left hand down onto the ground in front of your left foot, and then sweep your right arm high to the sky. So we'll find almost like a long diagonal line from your right middle finger to your left middle finger. Peel the heart open, take a breath in. And as you exhale, palm to palm, right hand to left hand, close it down. 2 more like this. Trace up your left arm across your chest and then up that diagonal line, breathe in. And exhale, close it off. Last one, breathe in, feel it all the way open. Then exhale, close it off. And this time, other side. Right hand to the inside of your right foot, left fingertips all the way up, diagonally far away. And then exhale, close it off, palm to palm, left to right. Inhale, extend up, track up, reach up. And exhale, close it off. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, lengthen, lengthen. And exhale to close. This time, both elbows to the insides of the knees. Peel the heart open, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, push into your feet, lift your hips forward, fold, turn your toes to face forward. Very slowly, start to bend your knees and begin to sink your hips down towards the ground. We'll find a seat. Once we've arrived into our seat, we'll start to move into deer pose or 90-90. So now that we've hit the ground, this will be where we stay. For a 90-90, what I'd love for you to start out with is your right shin parallel to the front edge of your space. So your knee will come directly out from your hip and your ankle directly out from your knee. Your back leg, your left leg is going to look the same, but in the opposite direction. So your knee will come directly out from your hip and your shin will come directly out, tracting towards your ankle from your knee. So 90-90 in theory is a bunch of 90-degree angles, hips, knees, and ankles. Now, you are welcome to also have your blocks here. This is kind of the end of class where I also like to be propped up a little bit. And I want us to do a little activation before we fold forward. So back leg is going to be our big push. I'll turn towards the side so you can kind of see what we're doing. Pay no attention to how high you lift your back heel off of the ground. Any action is a good action. So push down through the left knee, and then we'll start to lift the left heel just a little bit. You should feel it tightening and tensing in the left outer hip. That's good. Lower it down. Lift it up, and then lower it down. Let's do 3 more, because I know we can. Lift the back heel, and then exhale, lower it down. 2 more. We can do this. Lift up, and then lower down. Very last one. Lift up and hold for 3, for 2, and on 1, slowly release it down. Awesome, awesome, awesome job. Now for your front leg, this is gonna be something that you can't see, that I can't see, but we can feel for sure. So I want you to push down into your right shin as much as you possibly can. So we're working towards that like good emphasis of above a 5 out of 10 effort. Push down, push down, push down, push down, and then soften. And I'm sitting upright, but you can have your hands on the ground. We'll do that 2 more times. Push down, push down, push down, and then release. And then 1 more time. Push, 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 drive, 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 and then release. Okay, so we've done the effort. We'll find the ease. So take a big breath in, lift the chest tall. And then as you exhale, we'll start to fold forward, almost as if you were doing a half pigeon pose. Now I'm gonna take blocks underneath my forearms because reaching to the floor doesn't feel quite as good to me. If it does to you, please go for it. And also know that this is a variation of a half pigeon. So if at any point you would prefer that hip stretch, go for it. Not a problem at all. Find length through your spine and a little bit of pressure as you fold your chest on top of your right thigh. Embrace the external rotation in the front leg and a little bit of that compression. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in and breathe out. And very gently, we'll just press up to a seat. And then you can move your blocks to the other side of your mat. If it feels comfortable, you can just simply tip to the back of your space because we're just going to windshield wiper towards the center and then windshield wiper towards the other side. So in theory, your left shin will now be in front of you and your right shin will now be behind you. And if you're like, what are we doing? No worries. Come back right to the front of your mat, pop your left leg in front and your right foot behind. Either one's going to work. We'll start with the activation and then we'll end with the ease. So the right heel is going to start to lift. So pull the right heel off the earth, tighten through the outer glute, outer hip, slowly lower down. Lift up, and lower 3 more times. Lift up, squeeze, and then gently release. 2 more, because I think I can count. Lift up and down. And then 1 more, just for good measure. Lift up and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Okay, soften there. And then front shin, we just push down into the ground. Like we're gonna make an imprint. So push down, push down, push down. And then release. 2 more. Push as far as you can into the ground. You're making an indent to your mat. And release. And then left shin pushes down 1 more time, just for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. I felt that more on this side than I did on the other side. Lift the chest, lift the crown, and then as you exhale, fold forward. Find your variation of a sleeping deer pose or 90-90, or if you want the half pigeon, this is a wonderful time to take that. You're always gonna know your body the best, and that part comes with the fluidity of our actions, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. When we're a little bit more in tune with ourselves, we can move a little more fluidly. We can resist the resistance, if you will, of what can arise when we're not totally in tune to what's happening within us, or maybe even attuned to what's happening around us. And very slowly press up to your palms. And then just come to a seat. We'll find 1 last butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Now, pillows underneath your knees are a really wonderful place for them to be. Blocks also underneath the knees can be really helpful. And if you're looking for just a little bit more of like letting them breathe open, awesome. Feet further apart is really great for your inner thighs. Pulling them a little bit closer is going to be a little bit more inclined for the hips. So I'm going to pull mine in just for the sake of the intention of this class. Scoop the outer edges of my feet, pull the chest up, and then option is to fold forward. Now the fold is more of a hinge from the hips rather than a rounding and curling in. So think about more of a seated forward fold rather than a cat pose. And that way we maintain a little bit of integrity in the spine and focus the hinging sensation on our hips. Let your knees soften here. This is part of the fluidity. The fluidity is the softness. And so if you've watched a river be a little bit more fluid, it's not necessarily forcing its way over the rocks. It's just kind of maneuvering very slowly around it. And so in that way, we want to soften the muscles, soften the what ifs, soften the thoughts, so that we can meet each and every moment, each and every posture with a little bit more openness, receptivity to maneuver through it. You have all the tools. We just are using these postures to slowly but surely uncover them and build trust with them. When you're very ready, slowly take a seat up. Let your legs lengthen out nice and long, and you can kind of pedal them out a little bit. Give your hips a moment, a breather. And then what I'll ask is that we come back to a comfortable seat. And this time, we can take the comfortable seat the way we normally do, because we started, if you remember, kind of crossed in the opposite direction. So whatever we naturally did, we went to the opposite. So we end naturally. Cross your legs exactly like you would like to, and find the comfortable seat that works for you. Lift the crown of your head and relax your sits bones. And let your palms turn up or down, or maybe a mixture of both, based on what you need now. Acknowledge the evolutions that take place over small amounts of time. And understand that it is because of your lack of resistance, it is because of your openness and receptivity that you evolve at all. Dip back into this practice anytime you feel a little stuck or are looking for a little bit more movement and maneuverability. Maybe not in your postures, but other places. Build the tool belt, build the practice, and build the trust in yourself that you can. Take a big deep breath in. And a cleansing breath out. One more for good measure. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, this is where I'll leave you. You're welcome to move this into Shavasana using all of the props and wonderful things that you have at home. Or you're also welcome to pair this up with any other practice that lives on the site. It can be a really wonderful pairing to something else, as you are now quite warm and ready for whatever your day holds. Thank you so much for practicing with me and with us, and I'll see you soon.